morning and welcome to Transwest Truck Trailer RV. I'm AC and today here in sunny Frederick, Colorado, I'm going to walk you through this 2023 Winnebago Revel. Perfect for this time of year with the snow we've got here in Colorado. Four-wheel drive. This is a perfect van for this time of year. So a couple things I'm going to point out to you when we get inside, but we're going to start up front. Right down here, we're going to have our method wheels. So the Revel's going to have upgraded wheels and tires based, compared to other models. We've got the KO2 tires that are all terrain. We're going to have our fixed running board. This is a fixed running board. I get a lot of calls. It does not retract. It's a fixed running board, which is nice. It kind of suits a dual purpose, right? So you can kind of sit on it as a seat if you need to, take a little break. You've got a little leash ring on both sides, a couple of lights. Up top, you can see we have our awning. So since we're right here, I'm going to go ahead and open that up for you. Right here on the main control side, you're going to have your awning lights. So I'm going to turn the lights on, and then there's an awning out button. Press that, let it come on out. Turn on this porch light as well. All the buttons are right here, really easy to access when you're standing outside, so it makes it super nice to deal with. Now the awning, I get a lot of questions, does it have a wind sensor? It does have a wind sensor. It's actually right here on the corner. I tell my customers when they purchase one, here in Colorado, we get some big gusts. It's a wind sensor, not a gust sensor. So if you're gonna be hiking, pull the awning in. Don't leave it out if you're up in the mountains. If you get one big gust, it can damage your awning. So you wanna just, be smart, kind of play it safe. Bring it back in, you just push the button. All right, we're gonna work our way around the back here. Couple things I like to point out on the Revel. You see my videos, you know that this is just for storage. This is not where you're going to climb on your ladder to get up there. If you need to get up there to, take the snow off the solar panels, like we have here in Colorado, you want to be careful. Obviously, if you're up there and it's full of snow, be smart. This does lock. So there's a key that will lock that so people aren't stealing your ladder. When it's time to dust off your panels, or if you've got something up there you're storing, there is a little bit of room for a bag. Some people can store stuff up there. You want to just place it up along that top rail so that it fits right against and it pushes on this plastic versus on that back door. So again, this is kind of how this works. I'm going to move it over just a little bit more so it's not in the way of this toilet when we come around that cassette. Coming back to the back here, this does have 5,000-pound towing. So you've got your receiver hitch here, and you're going to have a 7-pin connector right here. Backup camera up top. You can see our Coleman rooftop air conditioner up top as well. Couple things I want to point out up here is you're going to have some additional storage under the beds, or right now the bed is in the up position so that you can store all your gear down here. If you have a bike you want to keep inside while you're traveling, you do have some nice cargo stuff down here. You're going to have a couple of nets right here on this side. Then your water bay right to the right side of that. Super simple to use. Everything is color coded. So this is where you would hook up your city water. This is your outdoor shower with hot and cold water. And then your valves here are color coded. So if you're going to do a tank fill, you would put them in this position. If you're running city water, you put them in this position and so forth. Water pump right here. So you can turn the water pump up here in the back if you're going to use this outdoor shower. Maybe you're going to take all the dirt off your feet if you've been out on the dirt, out on the beach. This button down here is going to run your porch light on the driver's side. So I'm going to turn that on and I'll show you when we come back around that side. on this left side or driver's side, you're going to have your Lithionics battery. You're going to have your inverter under there as well. And I have this open because I want to go through a couple things. If you're somewhere cold like here in Colorado, you're not running your furnace, you're not storing inside, these lithium batteries will protect themselves. They have a heater inside, a heat pad inside, so that it'll protect itself. But it will go into a slow mode or a fault code. And when we go inside, I kind of want to show you that. I've got the cover off because, again, being here in Colorado, rather than getting a van that was fully charged, I wanted to show this because a lot of people call in when they have this issue. So if your battery gets too cold and it goes into a fault mode and the LED light flashes rapidly, that means it's got a fault, and 90% of the time that means that it's too cold. So it's not going to charge, it's not going to hold a charge. So what you want to do is you want to take this cover off and leave it off, run your furnace. So I ran the furnace in this van for about 15-20 minutes with this cover off to let the battery warm up enough that then it would start to charge. So that's very important. If you if you wake up, you go to get in your van and the battery's not working, check that blue light. When we're inside, I'll go over that a little further. All right, as we come around the driver's side, we're going to have a 30 amp service. These lights here will turn on when you're plugged in, letting you know that it is getting power to the van. So as you can see, I've got it plugged in right now, trying to charge those batteries up. Here's our porch light that I showed you the button on there in the water bag. Okay, as you know, with the Revel, it does not have a black tank. It's got a cassette. So you've got a 5-gallon cassette right here. Super simple. Just flip this, dump it out. While you're doing that, you want to push this blue button here. This is a vent, so it helps it to dump out faster. Just pop it back in there, close it up. It does have a key so that you can lock it so that, again, nobody's stealing your cassettes. Down here is your gray tank valve. So this is where you're going to hook up your hose. You're going to pull the valve to drain it. Again, we've got another fixed running board on this side. Down here, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but down in here, this is your exhaust for your furnace. Okay, if you've never had a van, I've said it before, the first time you go to fill up, it's really easy to miss and kind of go crazy trying to find out where the fuel fill is. So it's right here. Again, this one is diesel, so you want to make sure you use the right fuel. Over on this side, you're going to have your power door locks, power windows, and then your mirror adjusts right there. Right here, you're going to have your lights. Normally, I always leave my lights on auto. It's a personal preference. You can, adjust that how you want. This is going to set your timers, for your lights. Here you go. If you have fog lights, right there. Oh, sorry. Let me pop in here. Down here, just because it's probably easier to see from out here, right? So you're going to have your controls. This is a minus and this is a plus. So you're going to use that when you're working your stereo. You can actually do a couple of different things with that. You can adjust your volume up and down, but a lot of people ask me what these are for. All right, when it's time to open the hood, it's right here, right on the left side there. All right, really easy catch. A couple things to point out here. If you need to give a jump or get a jump, here's your positive terminal. Here is your ground, right there on the right side, that little copper fitting sticking out. Plenty of room in here to access all of your stuff. You're gonna have your coolant. You're gonna have your DEF fluid right here. Again, it's really easy to get to and fill. When it's time to close the hood, you don't have struts, you don't pull down. I'll just lift up, put this back where it goes, let it shut. This front piece here does serve as a step if you need to climb up to, you know, clean certain parts of the windshield there, so you can step up there. And that's pretty much the exterior of the Revel. So now I'm going to go over a couple of things here. You have your flip top table here. This has a cable adjust so that if you're on unlevel ground, uneven ground, you can adjust it by sliding your cable up and down. Makes it really nice if you want to have, if it's beautiful outside, pull out the awning, you can cook there. You're going to have your refrigerator right here, which is really easy to access from the exterior. You're also going to have a couple standard 110 outlets. Again, your awning lights, your awning in and out. That's going to be your porch light. That's going to be your light on the running boards down here. As we go in, we've got a grab bar right here to help you get in and out. We also have our roll-up screen. As you can see, if it's nice out, just flip that down, get some fresh air circulating. There's also one in the back. It's magnetic so that when it's closed, you don't have to zip it up and down. You literally just pull this over and walk in through the side. If we walk in, you can see we've got a fire extinguisher down there on the floor. We're going to have a smoke detector up here on the top. Our dining area is basically going to be, you've got your bench seat here, you've got your table here. Both of these seats will swivel around so that you can sit across from each other while you're eating, or if you want to play a game or something. Gives you a nice little dining and hangout area. Up here in this main compartment here, you're going to have plenty of storage. You're going to have a roof access port right here, so you don't have to drill in through the roof if you're wanting to set up a cradle point or cell booster. Another outlet here. You're gonna have some USBs and 12-volt outlet right there. So you can see we have a nice LED light right here, strip, and overhead you're gonna have some storage. Down here behind the driver's seat, you're going to have a little cubby for additional storage. You're also going to have another outlet, and this one's important. You can see it's got a red trip here, a breaker. So if something's not working, always make sure you haven't tripped your GFIs. Down here on the side of the bench, you're going to have your breakers, your fuses. I think I want to point out here is under this seat there is some additional storage, and you have your counter extension. So your counter extension is just going to pop in right here. Oh, as soon as I can get it going. Oh, hold on a second. There we go. It's got a slam latch in here so it locks in place. Again, once you're cooking, it's kind of good to see from outside. You've got your induction cooktop here, so you have more spot for it here, more counter space. You can also use it on that flip down table and cook outside. When you're done with your induction cooktop, it goes back in this drawer here. Okay, inside here we're going to have our spice rack, or you can put miscellaneous items in here. More USB ports back here. Plenty of USB ports. If your phone goes dead, it's basically your fault, okay? Smaller overhead cabinet here. Here's your Max Air controller, your remote. A couple more drawers. This one's a good one for a wastebasket if you want to put one in here. You got push button lights under here. And then your shower door when I'm doing demos, a lot of time people feel like they're gonna break the door, it's locked. You're always going to go turn this dial to the left, give it a good tug. It's got some pretty strong magnets. You can see one down in here. Yeah, it's right down here. There's one up top up here. That just helps keep the door closed. Right now, it's what I call in closet mode. So you have your shelves in here if you want to store items while you're going down the road. These are adjustable. There's another layer right here that you can move those shelves around a little bit. There's a bar up here to hang some clothes if you want to let it dry while you're going down the road. Here's your shower hose, your shower curtain. Here's a good spot to put some soap or toilet paper so it stays dry. And the toilet's right under there. I'm not sure if you can see it. It's right under here. And again, no black tank. That goes into that 5-gallon cassette. Now going back into the room back here, here's the bed. I want to do a couple of things. Let me flip this down. So right here's your control for the bed. You can stop this at any point, but your optimal length is going to be at the bottom right here. And I'll show you that again here in a second. I want to go back to this main control panel and go over a couple of things. Here are your light switches. Here's your furnace. As you can see right now, I have it set at 69. If you want to turn on the hot water, click that. I've got it winterized, so I'm not going to be doing that. Again, your bed lift is right here. You want to make sure that the key is in the on position to be able to use the bed. Water pump, tank levels and battery levels. Your Xantrex inverter control here, and then your solar charge controller. This does come equipped with a shutoff for the solar panel, for your solar charge controller. If you're going to be storing it indoor, you don't want any parasitic draw, you just flip that over and turn it off. Your windows here, obviously we have our MSRP, but all your windows are going to have your day screens or bug screens if you want to get fresh air circulating, and then also your night shades when it's time for some privacy, time to go to bed. Now I'm going to go ahead and lift this bed up because I want to go back through that battery. Again, I get a lot of calls from folks who they have no battery power, and usually this is the problem, so I kind of want to just go through it briefly. So you can see down in here, I don't know if you can see it on the camera back there, there's a blue light that's flashing. You can see it. So right now it's flashing slow. That means it's charging. If you have this, I really suggest you get the Lithionics app. So you can actually get the app, Bluetooth to your battery. It'll show you the state of charge. So this morning when I got in and it was frozen, it was at 1%. I turned on the van, plugged it in, turned on the furnace, let it warm up in here. Again, you want to have this cover off so that the battery can get some more warm air. Now it's at 20%. So this app is really good because it can show you faults, all of that stuff. Really nice way to see what's happening with your battery. Again, if that blue light is flashing rapidly, that means it's a fault. Normally that means it's too cold. It's not going to be able to charge. It's not going to be able to hold a charge. So that's going to be your main issue. Right here, you're going to have a breaker. You want to make sure that is on. Down here, you're going to have a couple push button breakers as well. One's for your solar and one's for the actual breaker panel itself. Here's your Xantrex inverter. Another thing that tends to happen is because you have your main inverter here and you have a control panel up front, is sometimes people will have the buttons in the wrong positions. So when you get your walkthrough with us, we'll explain that to you. If you have questions, feel free to call me. But you want to make sure that this is basically in the out position, as it is right now, and the one up front is in the in position. Again, very important. Under here, you're going to have some lights. These are going to be if you're outside at night, the bed is down and you need to get some of your gear. You have some nice work lights down here. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pull the bed back down. just to show you at the max length what it looks like. I'll get out of the way. There's a nice RAM mount right here on the side of the bed. You can put accessories there. You can do a cell phone holder or an iPad holder. Up top here in the overhead compartment's another good place to put your table extension. A lot of people put their blackout shades up there. It does come with blackout shades for the front windows, so that again, when it's time to go to bed, get some rest, you can black out all the windows. All right, up front, let's show the parking brake's another thing that we get calls on. Sometimes it can tend to get they can't get it disengaged, and so part of the reason is that because this is made for you to push down and it stays active, stays engaged, so that when you swivel your seats around, your parking brake is still engaged. So when it's time to actually go, you want to lift it up, push this button, go up and then down, and then you'll see on the dash that the parking brake is disengaged. So I'm going to go ahead and fire this up so I can show you, because again, it's one of the most common calls next to the batteries not working. So right now you can see it is engaged, so the park light is on. To disengage it, I'm going to lift up, push the button, and then go down, and now it's disengaged. Let's turn the fan off, sorry. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and engage it. Basic controls up here. You can see on the screen there that the side door is open. You can tell because it's got a red light there. Your shifter is right here. So I'm holding the brake. If I wanted to go into drive, I push the shifter down. It's going to move my gears, so, or put me in the correct gear. Go down to park. You want to push this button on the side. That will throw you in park. Again, it's not like a normal or standard car, I'd say, that most people have had. So the first time you get in one of these, a lot of people are wondering where the shifter is. That's where it's at. Steering wheel controls, the left side mouse here. Basically, this little touchpad works as a mouse. That's going to control your display here. You're going to have your back and home arrow. This is going to be for your cruise control. And it does have adaptive cruise, so you can set it to how far or how close you want to be to the vehicle in front of you. Really easy to do. You'll set it there. You resume and cancel like you would any other cruise control. On the right side here, we're going to have the same kind of setup. This is going to function as a mouse for this display. There's always a back arrow and then a home arrow. You can also use this when you're making your phone calls, so you can adjust your volume. So again, really easy while you're driving down the road. You can click, you don't have to be reaching over here, keep your hands on the steering wheel. A couple things on here I want to point out. Main ones, you go to your apps, go to smartphone, you can hit your Apple CarPlay, and you can set up your phone so you have all your Apple apps on there, your navigation, those kind of things. Same for Android Auto. You can go back, hit your home button. There's a lot of good videos out there on this system. There's a ton of stuff to it, so I'm not going to go through all of it. If you have any specific questions, please feel free to call me or email me or text me. I can go over some of this stuff with you, but let me go back to the front. So on the far right, you're going to have settings. This is where you're going to be able to set your park assist, your lane departure. This does have turn signal or traffic assist, sign assist, so it'll let you know what's coming up. You'll see the little logos up here. Active lane keep assist. It's got a bunch of safety features. So again, not only is this a 4x4, down here is actually, since I said 4x4, down here's where you engage your 4x4, and this is your low. So it does have a low setting. So 4x4 with the low range. You have 4x4 and you have all the safety features that you can get nowadays. So it's kind of kind of good. You can do a search. This does have Mercedes, so you can actually say, hey Mercedes, find a gas station, and she would do that. Here's your lighting, and then your system controls. You can adjust your displays. Again, a ton of stuff on here that we could spend a lot of time going through. Just back out of that. I already did the apps. Info is going to give you engine info. So here's your engine torque, your performance. It's going to, again, a ton of stuff that we can talk about. We're not going to do today. Fuel consumption. And then another cool thing is it's got your operator's manual. So your owner's manual is on here. You ask questions. You can, it'll take you to certain sections. If you want to check oil level, intervals, or oil change intervals, that kind of stuff, it's on your operating manual. Go back home. Of course, you're going to have your media. We've already talked about you can go to Bluetooth. So you can Bluetooth your phone, or up in here in your media center, this has a wireless charging pad. You can plug it into that first spot there, and that will take you straight to your stereo to play your music and that kind of stuff. The other two are going to be USB charging ports. And again, these are going to be Type C, so they're USB Type C. So they're a little different. Make sure you have the right connections, the right adapters. You're going to have additional storage, a little glove box basically on both sides, and a ton of cup holders. Down here, you're going to have basically your HVAC controls your heat. So this will adjust your heat. This will adjust the fan. To turn it off, you just go all the way down to the bottom. It'll shut you off. Hazard lights, your AC and your max defrost, your circulation, air circ, and then your rear defroster there. You can hit your camera button right here. You can see it's going to show you a 360 view. And it's going to show you right now, it's showing us the production van up there. Navigation, maps. You're always going to have a home button. It's your telephone, your radio, media. You're going to always have a home button that will take you to this main screen. Again, super simple to use. Your power on and off. You can scroll left and right. That takes you back to your settings. And then we'll go back home. So a lot to this, a lot of cup holders. The last thing I want to point out is, you know, when you get a van, your van, you're gonna get several keys. Always keep a spare at home. We all know that, so you don't lose it. While you're driving, you can fire it up with the key in here like I did, but there's a spot right in here that it's actually made to plug into. Keeps it communicating with the computer better. Just better to get in the habit of doing that. If you're moving to just a short area, short distance like I do here, it's fine to do that, but get in the habit of plugging it in down below to just save you headaches down the road. And that's pretty much it. Again, the main things I want to talk about was those batteries. If you have any issues starting the van, always check your batteries, check your Lithionics app, check your state of charge, those kind of things. Any other questions, you can always feel free to call me. If you're interested in this van, this is actually available. It's stock number 5N220. 967. So feel free to give me a call, shoot me a text or an email. Si hablo español, me pueden hablar al 720-276-4241. Thank you guys, and I'll see you next week.